What did you tell them?
I said what I knew, which isn't much.
That's not the same as nothing. I'm 34, I have a septum ring and a half sleeve that starts just below my left ear, and for the better part of the last year, I've been sleeping in the room I grew up in, which still has the same off-white blinds from 1998 that stick a little when you try to pull them down. My divorce finalized 11 months ago. The gig work I'd been doing, sound consulting, some touring crew stuff, session bookings I'd built slowly over about 8 years, basically collapsed inside of 6 weeks when 2 long-term clients folded and a third moved operations out of the country. I have a kid. He needed a school year that didn't include a third address change, so when my mother offered the room, I said yes, and I told myself it would be 3 months. My mother is 61 and has lived in the same house since I was 9, and that house exists inside a version of a community that I can only describe as its own weather system, a tight, extended family network, all attending the same church rotation, all on the same group chats, all aware of each other's business in a way that isn't gossip exactly, just a kind of ambient knowing. The understanding when I moved back in, though it was never stated as a condition, was that I would not create noise. I did the grocery runs. I kept my schedule around my son's school pickups. I didn't bring anyone to the house. I told myself her coolness toward me, the way she'd answer a question without quite looking at me, the way she'd adjust whatever I'd set on the counter a few inches to the left, was just old history between us finally going quiet rather than starting again.
She looked good on the call, I thought. Settled.
Yeah, she seemed good.
Her mother says she's been cooking again, which you know what that means.
It means she's cooking.
Don't be like that. I'm just saying it's a good sign.
My cousin Daniela is 36, 2 years older than me, and she's conventionally observant in ways the family understands and respects. She goes to the services, she posts the right things, she knows when to be visible and when to step back. She'd had her own divorce about 2 years before mine, and the family wrapped around her during it, in a way I watched from a distance and thought was genuinely lovely. Then she met someone and announced it on the Thursday evening family call, and the reaction was immediate and warm and unanimous. 3 days of follow-up texts. My mother baked something and dropped it off at Daniela's apartment. There was talk about where the next celebration dinner should be. I watched all of this from the kitchen doorway and then opened the laptop I keep on the kitchen table and closed 7 browser tabs I'd had open for reasons I didn't examine too closely. I wanted to tell you something before it gets to anyone else.
Okay.
I've been seeing someone. It's been a few months.
A few months you're saying now.
I didn't want to say anything until I was sure it was worth saying.
And the call. You're not planning to.
No, that's why I came to you first. I had also met someone around that time. I'd met her about 4 months in, through people I still knew from my old world, and it had become something real enough that I wanted to say it out loud somewhere. I went to my mother privately, not announcing it on the Thursday call, not posting anything, just telling her first because I'm her daughter and I live in her house and I thought that mattered. She listened. She didn't ask any questions about who this person was or what I felt. What she said was brief and specific. Don't bring it up on the call. Don't bring it up to the aunts, because people would connect my divorce to my choices, and those choices to what might have gone wrong inside the marriage. She said it gently. The gentleness was part of it.
Did you get the oil?
It's on the counter.
This isn't the one I use.
I know, they didn't have the other one.
They always have it. You have to look in the back.
I'll get it next time. The following week was ordinary in most ways. My son had a thing at school on Wednesday. I picked up the wrong brand of olive oil twice, and my mother said nothing but moved it to the back of the pantry. The laptop was on the kitchen table most evenings, because I used it for work and Thursday came around, and the weekly call started the way it always started. I put my son to bed and came back down and thought the call had ended because the kitchen light was off, and I was walking toward the back of the house when I heard the sound through the hallway door. The slightly tinny compression of multiple voices through the laptop speaker, audible from maybe 12 feet away in a house that had gone very quiet after dinner. The door was open maybe 4 inches. I didn't open it further. I just stopped. What did you tell them?
I said what I knew, which isn't much.
That's not the same as nothing. What I heard lasted less than 4 minutes, which I know because something in me was counting without meaning to. The way you count in a situation before you understand that you're in one. My mother was answering a question someone had asked, one of the aunts, I think, based on the cadence, about whether I was seeing anyone. She mentioned my choices. She used a phrase about the marriage she has never used to my face, not once, in 11 months of living under the same roof. Her tone was exactly the tone she uses when she's being careful to seem neutral. I went upstairs. I didn't close my door loudly. After that, I started moving things. Not all at once, not in a way that announced anything. Just a bag every few days. Things I could say I needed somewhere else if anyone asked, which no one did. A box of records to a friend's storage unit. My good coat. The folder of documents I keep in a specific order that I've been keeping in that order since I was 22. I kept doing the grocery runs. I kept showing up to Thursday calls for the 20 minutes that counted as presents. My mother seemed lighter on those evenings. She laughed more, mentioned Daniela's new relationship by name on the call, in the same easy way you'd say a word you'd been saying for years. That same week, she'd said something to me, in a different tone, about the importance of being careful with what I put into words before things were clear. The person I had met had been saying for a while that she didn't need a ceremony, that the only thing she cared about was the actual decision. We did it on a Tuesday, in a town 2 states over, a courthouse and 7 people we actually knew, and phone photos that are blurry in the way candid phone photos always are, when someone is crying a little and laughing at the same time, and the light is coming through the old glass. No family notification sent in advance. By the time a photo made it anywhere, the certificate had been signed for a week. I left a contact number with one person in the extended family, a woman my mother has known for 30 years, who once sat with me for 2 hours after my grandmother died and said almost nothing. Not with my mother. My son started a new school year at a new school, and likes his teacher, and has a friend named Marcus. He talks about constantly. The records I put in storage I still haven't gone back for.